What's happening, crypto fam? You're tuned in to the Elite Wealth Podcast, where we unlock the secrets of crushing it in the Web3 and cryptocurrency space. My name's Tyler Brewer, alongside the co-host Garrison Raleigh, and since 2016, we've been educating, enriching, and empowering thousands of students across the world on how to make waves and create generational wealth in this space.
Each episode, Tyler and I keep it real with you, analyzing the top market movers and industry leaders, the latest news, and how to avoid the potholes on the road to crypto riches. We're industry vets who have guided students to over 500% gains in this wild 2024 market.
We will teach you how to level up your mindset and skills to really capitalize on this decentralized revolution.
Subscribe now and join us every week as we lead you step by step into elite digital wealth with the Elite Wealth Podcast.
What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Elite Wealth Podcast. I'm here with Crypto G, the co-host. I'm the co-host. We're both co-hosts, the best ones on this side of the Mississippi. Glad to have you here, bro.
Ever. Some may say the best ever.
Dude, this is probably gonna be one of my favorite. Oh my goodness, I smacked my mic. This is gonna be one of my favorite episodes, bro. This is the psychology of crypto trading, and not even just the psychology of crypto trading, but the psychology of investing in general. Dude, we just got off some amazing calls these last few days, back to back to back, dude. I feel like it prepared us really for this call.
It did actually.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Right?
Yeah,
no. we got on like a one-on-one, and then we did the Twitter space yesterday with probably 40, 50 people in there, and
yeah,
I'm excited, bro. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, it's a good time actually to be doing this episode as well, because right now a lot of people could. It's a psychology game. That's exactly why we're going over this. So I guess let's jump right into it. Tyler, I know you love doing this, love talking about it, so you might be talking most of the time, but I definitely will be able to jump in. So I'm excited for this one as well.
Me too, bro. Feel free to cut me off at any point if I start going
for sure. For sure.
But yeah, dude, I want to jump in. The first thing I want to start off with is trading or investing in general. Like Garrison said, it's a mindset thing. It's a psychology thing. Trading and investing plays on your emotions. How well do you like to lose $1,000? And how would you feel if you lost $1,000? And how would you feel being able to watch it live go down and lose $1,000? That will play on your emotions. Maybe you're in your last moment, and it depends on where you're at in your life. Maybe it was your last $1,000. And being able to control your emotions, right? You can't control them. You cannot control how you feel. Your emotions will be peaked at all times, but you can choose whether you react to what's happening. You will always feel the emotions. They're never going to go away. I'm 10 years deep into this, Pocahontas. I appreciate you, but we got to go. I'm 10 years deep into this, and bro, the psychology part of it never goes away. You learn how to manage it. You learn how to manage your emotions, how to not control them, but how to utilize them. How to utilize fear, greed, scared, all of them. But like I said, it's a foundational level. And what I want to start with, bro, I'm sure you could guess, it's from chapter 12. It is the book, The Power of Awareness. It's by Neville Goddard, one of my favorite books, especially when it comes to do with the mindset. And the reason I want to bring this up is because, again, most people are thinking the psychology of trading, bro. Why are we talking about thinking so much? You will soon find out that what you think majority of the time you become. And you will also find out that the secret of the universe is what you think most of the time you become. And since that's true, you are now given to the key to do and get whatever you want, but you have to understand you need to control it. So let's dive into this. And again, the foundational level to trading and investing is the psychology. You won't make a large sum of money consistently is the key word there, unless you have the mindset of an investor, of a trader. You might do it once, twice, but to continue to duplicate it will be a lot harder if you don't understand the psychology. So chapter 12, subjective control. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to read just a little bit because it's the most powerful part. He says, your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. That's it. That's the only part I'm reading. It's the most important part. It's not a long chapter. It's actually like a page and a half. That's it. But guys, that is one of the most important parts of that chapter is the first line, the first sentence is what you think. The degree of your apportion, oh my goodness, I just butchered that. in proportion to the degree of your attention. He says your imagination is able to do all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. And the reason this is important is because we have cognitive biases. We have our own beliefs on the market, our own upbringing, our own programming. Everybody's programmed in life. The only two things you have instinctually are fears and breathing, things like that, eating, drinking water. Those are a little bit of instincts, and still you have to be taught how to do it. If you're born an infant and left on your own, you die. You need some type of help and you need some type of programming.
Yeah.
The only two things you're born with as far as fear goes is the fear of falling, the fear of loud sounds. Everything else in life is learned, meaning you are programmed. You are some type of program, whether it's a good one, whether it's a bad one. You're either happy, you're sad. There's two types of people. And the best part, you get to choose, right? What you think about most of the time you become. The only thing in life you can absolutely control is what you think. And guys, once you realize this and implement this, realizing it's great, but implementing the fact that you have the only thing you can control in life is what you think and how you react to what you think. Everything else is outside of your control. Your health, you go to the gym 8 days a week and you could still have a heart attack tomorrow, God forbid. You could have some crazy absurd thing happen and you can't control it. The only thing you control is what you think in your own mind. So how crazy or dumb would you be to convince yourself that you're broke forever, that you're unhappy forever, that you're sick, right? Your body heals itself. Have you ever got a cut on your arm? Did you even think about the cut healing? No, your body does that by itself. Your thinking inhibits. I think inhibits means maybe prohibits. It stops is the word I'm looking for. It stops, right? Thinking stops the healing. It's the wrong thinking that stops the healing. Why do you think people get sick and don't heal themselves? Bodies heal themselves. They're temples. You have a flesh vehicle, you take care of it, you're good. But in order to do this, you have to think. And same thing with money. Money is a game. There's an amazing video that Garrison and I are probably going to reference almost this entire video. Me specifically, I know I will, but Garrison probably will as well. And it's the 20 Rules of Money by Patrick Bet-David. Probably one of the best videos out there, especially considering what we're talking about, the psychology of trading, investing. It's the foundational level, right? If making money is a game, we need to understand that we need to learn the rules. If we're playing basketball, don't you need to know where out of bounds is? Don't you need to know that Garrison's not on your team and you pass it to the wrong guy? And now he's scoring against you, not for you.
Let's go.
Right? You need to know the rules. And if you don't, you'll never make it at an elite level. Never. And this is the best part because most of us, myself included, Garrison included, we weren't taught all these things we're teaching you. We learned for ourselves, found out, and learned from the people who had what we want. And you have to do that in all
And
areas.
a lot of this stuff that, Tyler's saying right now isn't even just about trading. You can use all this stuff in all aspects of life, no matter what you want to do, whether you want to be an astronaut and go into space or whether you want to work at McDonald's. If you want to work at McDonald's, you'll work there. If you want to be an astronaut, you'll figure out a way to be an astronaut. And so a lot of these things go in for all terms of life here. So yeah, I'll
Facts,
let
bro.
you.
Yeah, it's not just one area. This is the foundational level, the foundational place for everything in life. Health, wealth, love, and happiness. This is the foundational level, is what you think in your mind. It's the secret of the universe. So Jim Rohn, one of my favorite guys, I've learned a lot from him, taken a lot of philosophies from him. He talks about this. It's not the blowing of the wind, it's the set of the sail. Your sail is your mind. It's your mind,
Shout
right?
out
Your
Set Sail.
attitude. Yeah, right. Your attitude, your sail, your attitude towards life, your sail set in the wind determines life's wind that blows on you. Which way do you want to
Yeah.
go? Right? You need to understand that. And again, this is the foundational level of life. And once you understand this and start implementing it, the better off you are. These things are a lot easier to talk about than they are to do. It's a
Yeah.
lot easier to talk about focusing and thinking about what you want to think about and choosing deliberately what to focus on.
Sometimes, unfortunately, that can cause you to lose friends. It can cause you to sometimes distance yourself from family members that you realize are negative, and
Yeah.
it can be hard sometimes, but like Tyler said, it's a lot easier said than done. But think about it. If you're hanging out with people that are partying every day and their goal is to work at McDonald's, or they do work at McDonald's and don't really have any goals to strive towards or care to do anything, odds are you're going to be like those people. But if you're hanging around millionaires, maybe you're not, you may not even be a millionaire yet, but if you're hanging around millionaires, surrounding yourselves by people that make money, that know how to make money, I'd say odds are you'll probably make a little bit of money, whether they help you or not, but you'll pick up their habits, and you are who you are around. So
100%, bro. 100%. Like you are the five people you hang around. You're exactly what
yeah,
they are. And even, what you said, right? They could be a millionaire, but what if they don't have a millionaire relationship? It's okay to take advice from them. Just don't take relationship advice from them. If they don't have the best relationship past, you probably shouldn't be taking their their advice, right? Even if they got $1 million. They might have some good
right.
ideas on money. They might understand how to manage money, but they don't understand how to manage or in control, not control.
Like, would you
Bad word
take
there.
baseball advice from me, who's you know when you're in the MLB, and I've used to play baseball when I was in school, didn't since I was like sixth or seventh grade. Are you gonna take my advice or someone from the pros?
How much you charging?
It's free, free.
350. But yeah, bro, ultimately, right? Thinking is the foundational level of all of this. And money is a game. So we need to understand the rules of money. Now, what we're talking about, right? Our lives are dictated by what we think. Tomorrow, right? The type of car you drive is dictated by what you think. Your life is completely controlled by it. If today was Friday, most majority of people know that they have Saturday off, meaning they don't have to wake up. But when Sunday rolls around and they all say, "Oh, dude, I can't do that. I gotta go to work tomorrow." What they think, what they believe to be true, right? Now, a lot of people might listen to this if you're not spiritually enlightened, and I don't mean this in the wrong way because when I first heard this stuff, I thought it was like hippie, something you'd find like some crazy dude with dreads talking about in the forest. And I'm like, yeah, man, yeah, like literally like Shaggy from Scooby Doo, right? That's like I'm literally thinking like some of this stuff is so crazy, but it's not. It's actually not. What you come to find out is it's these simple things in life. It's the little things. When you become too big for the little things, you become too little for the big things. And in life, all you need to do is control what you think. And it's the only thing in life you can control what you think. So when learning these rules, right, you need to learn the tax codes. You need to learn the tax laws. Maybe not the codes, but the laws, right? There's a lot of codes. You need to learn some tax laws about money. You need to learn where money comes from. What is money? If you haven't listened to our podcasts, any of our episodes yet, I highly recommend it because the first ones start teaching what money is and what money isn't. Stipulations on what money could be, there are none, right? It's a
Yeah.
it's a it's a medium of exchange is really all it is.
And
But
these,
go
go
ahead.
ahead, go ahead. I was gonna kind of change a topic a little bit, so keep going.
Oh, yeah, you're good, bro. And so I want to bring this little quote up, and I actually said it the other day, and I sent it to the group chat, bro. Right? But our lives are dictated by our jobs because we think about it all the time. What you think about majority of the time, you become. Sunday night comes around, and I gotta get up and go to work tomorrow. Right?
Yeah.
Your car dictated by how much your job pays, and your house, your lifestyle. Right? It's Friday, and some of you are at work right now thinking, "Oh, I can't wait to get off work." You're constantly thinking of work, work, work. Oh, I'm always at work. I have to go to work. And you think about it all the time. When you choose what to think about, you could be at work. Dude, one of the best entire parts of my journey was when I worked at a warehouse doing mindless work. Why? Is because I get to choose what I think about. I was throwing boxes on a conveyor belt. It doesn't take much thinking to grab a box and throw it and set it down. What does require work is for you to throw the headphones in and listen and take in and learn the things that Earl Nightingale was saying, Bob Proctor, Neville Goddard, Napoleon Hill, the greats of all time. And it's a simple question, right? If I asked you to do, like grab a pen and paper, and I said, "What do you think about you?" and I told you to write it down, what do you think? The biggest thing I took away in my semester of college, bro, was my professor. Her name was Virginia Bowie. If she's still around, God bless your soul, ma'am. You changed my life. But she told me the first day of class, bro. Luckily, I went because I didn't go much in college. But she wrote down, think about what you think about. And that was the beginning of the shift in my journey because at that point in time, I'd never actually consciously thought, what am I subconsciously thinking? I never actively was like, what does my little brain think about all day? What is that little guy up there saying? What does he say? Because I never once thought about that. And Garrison, you said you want to switch it.
Yeah, yeah, it still
Oh,
goes along with it, but I wanted you to finish what you were talking about there. But anyway, I know, you guys might be thinking like, where are they getting this information from? Are they just blurting this off the top of their head? And I know Tyler's mentioned a few names of people, he's read, like we talked about Patrick Bet David, but here's another example, like Think and Grow Rich. And I know Tyler, you've definitely read this and talk about it
mhm.
all the time. And I actually think I probably know of this book because of you, but it was by Napoleon Hill, and he was inspired by Andrew Carnegie and talked to him and other millionaires and people that were doing big things back in the day to get a good understanding of how they think, what they do, why are they successful. So there's the key takeaways in it is the power of thought, is desire. You have to think about desire, faith, specialized knowledge, imagination, again, thinking about what you want. Actually imagine, like, you say whatever it is you want a Ferrari, imagine you're sitting in the seat, you're feeling the leather on the steering wheel, and just close your eyes and visualize it. And decision and persistence, a lot of that is all within the power of thought. You're all thinking about all these things, and like Tyler said, think about what you think about. That's when you really start to become to grow, because when a negative thought comes in your head, you're gonna say, wait, why is that in my head? And where did that come from? And
And the
all right, I'm
goal is
just
to
gonna
get rid
focus
of
on
it.
this for now.
Yeah, and the goal is to get rid of that thought, the negative one, and replace it with two positives. Like
Yeah.
the whole goal of becoming a better investor, better in all areas of life, better at health, wealth, love, and happiness, right? The way you become better is number one by practicing, but thinking about it more, right? When you think about something, ideas pop up. You think about the Wright brothers. Do you think that they randomly just stumbled upon the plans on how to make the airplane and make it fly? Or do you think it was the searching which led them to the finding? The searching, the trying, the find. You don't just
I don't
stumble
really
upon a bar of gold.
I don't really like this expression, but it kind of fits. Like, throw it at the wall and see what sticks, pretty much. Like,
Yeah,
you have to start there. If you don't know what you're gonna do, you might as well just start trying something.
absolutely, bro. And do it to the best of your ability. And
Exactly.
and bro, that brought up what you said, right? Because you talked about desire, you talked about imagination. The first two sentences in chapter 12, subjective control. I'll read it again because again, this is so
Do
powerful.
it. Do
Your
it.
imagination is able to do that all that you ask in proportion to the degree of your attention. The second sentence says, all progress, all fulfillment of desire depend on the control and concentration of your attention. And like Garrison said, this is coming from people who have the results I want. And I've
Right.
learned over the last 10 years that they were right. And I've continued to pursue it and learn it. And until I find out they're wrong, I'm gonna keep doing it. And I'm gonna keep, you know, changing other people's mindsets, the way they think. Because ultimately, if you want to become a scuba diver, do you think a scuba diver is thinking about baseball all the time? He's thinking more about scuba stuff. He's thinking about respirators, regulators, and he's probably going. He's probably has a get his. What do you think his phone gallery looks like? That the Garrison said it. The feeling is the secret. What does it feel like to sit in a Ferrari? You don't know? Go sit in one. Did you know
Yeah.
it's free to go to a car dealership and say you're interested in a car? You don't have to say you're there to buy. You don't have to tell them all that, but you can go there and actually get the feeling, the smell. What does it smell like? What does it look like? How does it feel? What would it feel like? Right? It's easier to maybe understand it. What does it feel like to go down a roller coaster? Like you got to close your eyes and utilize your imagination, the gift you've been given, what you can think. The only thing you can control. I know we keep saying these things so repetitive, but these things are so important, especially because they're the foundational things of all of life. Because, right, money is a game, and you can't really play the game until you understand the foundational levels, the rules. You have to know the rules. And part of making money and becoming someone who's good at making money and multiplying it and duplicating it and reserving it, preserving it, maybe not reserving, preserving it, is learning how to play the game. Same thing with
Yeah.
basketball, guys. You think Kobe is out there practicing baseball and then knows all this stuff about basketball? That doesn't
Yeah.
happen. He in it works in all areas of life. Every single person that has a niche that's at an elite level, imagine what they think about. It doesn't matter what you want to be, where you want to go. The crazy thing about life is we all exchange time for money. Majority of us, not all of us, but we all work for money. We work to make money. Money is stored time and energy. And you can make more by duplicating what you have or learning how to duplicate. If you don't know how to duplicate money, you're stuck selling time for money. But there is ways to make your money make money for you, which is one of the wealth creating tools. And again, we're not going to go into exact details on how to make money, right? Because there's so many ways. Really, the system's almost the same for every niche. It's almost the same in every, doesn't matter what you want to be, whether you want to be a guitar player, you want to be a cat whisperer, if you want to build or build skyscrapers. It all starts with the same foundational things. And if you want to make money, again, because that's what we're talking about, you need to understand the rules. Because retirement isn't an age, it's a system. You need to understand how to play the system. And there's so much more to this, guys. I mean, we could keep going in, diving in. But ultimately, there's different segments, right? Because when you're trading at the market, you're facing more emotions, right? When you're trading, you're actively trading, you're facing your emotions. In the foundational level, you need to fix your thinking. And that's what Garrison and I have been talking about for these first 20 minutes in this podcast is
Yeah.
fixing the way you think. Because if you want to become a multimillionaire, you need to fix the way you think. Jim Rohn says, set a goal to make $1 million, but not to make the $1 million. It's for what it will make of you, right? What you become in the journey to make $1 million. Most people don't stumble upon $1 million. The universe is not just crazy enough to give
You're not
everybody
just
a
gonna
million
stub your
bucks.
toe on a bar of gold that's on the floor. If you do, you're very lucky, and someone probably dropped it. But
Let me come over because maybe there's another one.
and like you said, they change the way you think, guys. How often have you doubled your money? How often have you bought something for $20 and maybe sold it for 40, or maybe you bought a lottery ticket and won a couple $100 off of $10. You're If you are at $1,000, 1,000 USD, you are 10 doubles away from $1 million. So imagine, you know, sometimes it can be easy to double your money sometimes, and there's easy ways to do it, there's hard ways to do it. But if it's in the market, you're 10 doubles away, guys. 10 good trades away. But maybe let's just say 15, because it's never going to go perfect. Even if you're 15, 20 doubles away from $1 million in your account that you started at 100, or that you started at $1,000 with, I'd say that's pretty good. If you can if you can manage your risks, very well, and control your emotions, this stuff's possible. You just have to put your mind to it and actually think about it.
100%, bro. 100%. And like rule number one is the foundational things, the way you think. Rule number two, it's a game. You need to understand that making money is a game. Third
Yeah.
rule, you don't want to be a hater because majority of the people that I know that are extremely wealthy, they're not haters. Most of the time, people who are judging you, they have time for it. You're not
Yeah.
often going to be judged by someone who makes more money than you. Most of the time, you won't, right? Occasionally, you run into that person, but most of the time, you don't. Garrison brought up another thing. It's a doubles game, right? Majority of people in the US don't have $1,000 to cover an emergency. but they do have $5, $10. How do you double $5 to $10? Well, maybe you buy something on Facebook Marketplace and flip it, right? But how do you double $1,000? Well, you're gonna have to buy a couple more things or a more expensive item. And as you work your ways up on this doubles game, each level is a different level. It's like a video game. When
It's
you're,
easier and easier, really.
yeah, because number one, you're getting better, you're
Yeah.
getting more creative, you're learning. But number two, you're not gonna use the same doubles game at $10 that you are at $10,000 or
Yeah.
$100,000 when you're trying to double your money. Garrison made a good point, right? If you start with $1,000, you double it 10 times, you're at $1,000,000. Doesn't sound that difficult when you break it down that way. Well, money's a game. You need to think about it differently. Get a different perspective. Flip perspectives. One thing that Garrison and I do when we're looking at the market is we get rid of our cognitive bias, right? We get rid of our subconscious thought. What does that mean, Tyler? Well, everybody wants the market to go up or in the direction they're trading, right? If you're leverage trading and you're selling, you obviously want that puppy to sink. If you're buying, you want it to go up. Majority of people that are spot trading crypto, they want that thing to go to the moon. They want to just see
Facts.
a God candle break through their ceiling and their screen. Well, that's your cognitive bias. And even if you don't think it's there, it is. Reason why we flip the chart is to get rid of it. You invert the chart and look at it upside down. Because when you look at it upside down, it gives you a different perspective. Because unknowingly, and until you do it, I promise you, if you're a chart analyzer, go to the chart right now, pause the video, pause the podcast, wherever you're
I
listening to this,
actually am right now.
and go invert it and get a different perspective. Because again, you're not gonna, right? You have to think about things a little differently. Use your mind. It was the best gift you've ever been given. The human body is literally the most complex operating machine in all of existence. There's crazy machines out there, but the human body literally, its heart beats about 150,000 times a day, 150,000 to 200,000 times a day. Could be wrong. You have to Google that, but it's a lot, right? And you're breathing. You could choose to focus on your breathing and breathe how you want, but you don't have to think about it. You just do it. Your body heals yourself without doing it, right? So it's a doubles game, and you have to understand that. Timing, right? Timing. Where are you in your life? Not everybody's in the same spot. If you're 80 and, you know, you're probably not going to invest all your money in, this crypto market or trading or investing or into one item in general. If you're
Right.
younger, you're 18, 19, you probably don't have as much money saved, and you have a lot more time to go and make it back. If you're 80 and retired, you don't want to risk your retirement fund, because what if you have to go back to work? When you're 80 years old, it's a little bit tougher to work when you're 80 than when you're 18 and good health. And most people don't realize that. So you have a different time horizon. What is the time horizon? Well, depends on where you're at in life. Everybody's going to have a different one. And depends on where you're at in the doubles game too. And again, each level is going to be slightly different from the next. So you're gonna, I mean, there's so many places you could start with this, because again, it doesn't matter where you're doing it, what niche, what market. It's all the same system. Retirement isn't an age, it's a system. I used to say it's at a dollar amount, but that dollar amount keeps changing. So it's hard to say it's a dollar amount when it's actually a system. It's becoming the investor, the smart mind person, the businessman, the businesswoman, the business person, whatever you think yourself as. But ultimately, it's changing the way you think. How does an investor think? What does Patrick Bet David think about as a podcaster? And this is where the feeling is the secret, because you need to put yourself in the position and actually imagine yourself. Use your imagination, one of the God's greatest gifts that he gave you, the universe, whatever you believe in. Utilize your imagination and feel what it's like. And people are like, dude, what do you think? And here's a simple situation. If you're listening to this, let's do something live. Close your eyes, unless you're driving. Don't want you to
I'm
crash.
gonna do it. Okay.
Right. So you're gonna close your eyes, bro. Now let's imagine that you are on a roller coaster, bro. You're on a roller coaster going up. Not yet. You're not going around the curves yet, right? You just got on. Bars are going down. You got to put your hands up so the thing comes down in front of you. You got to lock in place. The guy walks past you. Make sure you're locked in. Make sure you're secure. Next thing you know, ride starts. You're a little nervous. You don't like roller coasters. Maybe you do. Either way, you're getting excited or nervous. There's two types of people. Unknowingly, right? We're going up. We're going up. You look out the edge. Palms are starting to sweat a little bit, bro. It's good. You're getting up there. You're starting to get up. You're not at the top yet. You're going higher and higher. You're climbing, climbing. You're getting higher. You're approaching the peak. You're approaching the peak. I'm sitting next to Garrison. Garrison's about to scream because he's so excited for this roller coaster. And I'm literally terrified. And we go down the roller coaster. Imagine the feeling of the drop, right? You're going, woo, going down 100 miles an hour, dropping 200 feet from the top, going down, going all around this roller coaster, right? And if you really did this, if you really imagine this, put yourself in the position, right? You might have actually felt a little bit of
I did a
chill,
little bit.
right? And dude, I didn't go in depth in explaining it, right? If you go in depth and utilize your imagination, because you're able to imagine whatever you want, you're in control. But if you utilize this in all scenarios, imagine you were in a Ferrari. You just bought your first Ferrari, bro. You go to the dealership, you're buying it in cash. You have 200K. You go there, you hand it to him in a briefcase because you're a boss. You wanted to do it your whole life. You give him the briefcase. He hands you the keys. You sign all the papers. You get into the car. What color's the car? What's the interior look like? What's it smell like? What's it look like? You leave the dealership. Are you pressing the gas all the way down? Put yourself in this position, in this imaginative state of mind, because your mind doesn't know whether it's real or false. All it knows is that you are feeling that scenario. You'll imagine, right? You're giving your mom $1,000, buying your mom a home, or retiring your parents. Put yourself in the position. Utilize your imagination because the feeling is the secret.
Yeah, please don't
Being
spend
able
all your
to,
money on cars.
yeah, right. Spend all your money on
If
the
you have
cars.
that,
Yeah.
if you're getting that much money and you want to spend it on cars, that it's probably not going to come to you. But
You
the
missed the
people that know
foundational.
what to do with their money are going to be the ones that get to that level. You know, I was listening, I can't remember who it was, but it was
Eric
one of the
Thomas.
guys on Shark Tank. I can't think of the name. It wasn't Mark Cuban. It was the older dude. Um, he has 30 cars, and it's just like light work to him because that's how much money he has. He would sell those cars if he needed to, but he also knows that those are depreciating assets, and that's not really an investment. That's a it's a toy you get when you have a lot of money to play with.
Facts, bro. And that's the thing, right? The universe is a pretty crazy place, but it's not crazy enough yet for it to reward a bunch of undeserving people.
Yeah,
If you were to get $1 million today, are you going and buying a car with it? Are you going and buying a watch, a jewelry, a chain?
which I did learn from
Or,
that same video that watches are kind of appreciating assets
yeah, true.
depending on which ones you buy, but
But ultimately, whose life does that change? Where does the impact? This is where the universe isn't crazy enough to reward you because you don't have a good plan with it.
yeah.
You don't need a lot of money
And
because you're not giving.
one thing, sorry to cut you off
No,
there.
you're good, bro.
One thing that bothers me sometimes when people are asking questions about investing, it doesn't necessarily bother me because I was the same way when I first started too, but it's something that nobody really thinks about. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, I'll wait to study crypto or study stocks when I have the money to invest." But wouldn't you rather be ready to invest so when you get that money, you know exactly what you're going to do with it? If 100K lands in your lap for some odd reason, that would be amazing, but
What are you gonna do
what are
with
you going
it?
to do with that
How do you
100K?
multiply it?
You're going to be way
Uh,
more stressed having that 100K sit there, not knowing what you're going to do with it, trying to study the stock market, study crypto at the same time, study investments. You're going to want to know what you're going to do with your money before you get it with a plan. And that can also help control your emotions. One thing, how does this all relate to trading? So I guess we can kind of loop it back and, emotional control. If you have good risk management, that'll help your emotional control because if you can be a profitable trader with 3 out of 10 trades. A good baseball player that is a good hitter they're considered a good hitter if they hit above 300, which is 3 out of 10 at bats. And you can do the same thing with trading. And if you're risking, 5 to 10% a trade to get, 20, 30%, you can still be profitable, especially if you're risking, 1 or 2% to gain 5 or 10%. You're going to be profitable. So, and you know that. So make sure you just set your clear limits on your stop losses, take profits so you don't have to worry about it. If you want to set and forget about it, you can. And another thing is like stress management. Figure out a way to handle the stress that you have, like whether it's, Tyler likes to longboard, he runs sometimes, which is crazy to me because I'm not much of a runner, but I like to go to the gym sometimes, and there's people that meditate, and just whatever it is, maybe it's video games for you. Play video games to manage your stress. And um there's a lot of different little things that you can apply this to trading, but also all aspects of life. So
Facts, bro.
patience and
Yeah,
discipline is a big one too.
it
It's
is, bro. And actually, it's one of the major rules of trading. I spent almost 10 years now of my life learning about investing, trading, the mindset, the power, like learning from all these greats, spending thousands of dollars, hundreds probably at this point, on investing into myself, into traveling, events, webinars, seminars, books, mentorship. But ultimately, over these last 10 years, I've learned there's four major rules of trading, five actually, maybe six. We add a few now. But there's really four major ones because we talked about the other ones. The first one you want to do is have a plan. The
Yep.
second thing you want to do is have a foundational level of standing. What do you think about you? Where do you want to go? What is your goals? Right? You want to have those foundational things and you want to start changing the way you think. Do you always think bad? I love this one, right? When you ask somebody, a bigger person, like, oh, like, have you always, have you been big? Oh, I've always been big. Oh, I've always been skinny. Oh, I've always been this way. Well, you don't have to be.
Right.
That's just what you believe. That's what you think. That's what you were programmed to do. Is you programmed yourself either unwillingly, unknowingly, or by neglect. So, Garrison, you brought up, right? Four major rules. First one, patience.
Yep.
You got to be patient. If you're rushing, if you're rushing into the market, how can you rush a deal to happen? You're gonna
Right.
rush.
Let the market come to you.
Yep.
Trust
Patience.
your plan, confidence as well.
That's a big thing. You gotta have confidence in yourself, right? You have patience, discipline. Discipline, you need to stick to your plan.
Yep.
Nobody asked how you felt, you made a commitment. Discipline. It's
And if
it's
your
pretty
plan's not
simple.
working, maybe fix it, but
Facts,
don't just
bro.
keep trying the
Self
same failed plan over and over.
some self-auditing never hurts. Emotional intelligence. Garrison, you brought this one up too. You brought up the four major rules without even realizing it, maybe. But emotional intelligence. You have to understand, right? In the beginning, I said you can't control your emotions, but you can utilize them. If you're scared, there's a fight or flight feeling. Are you gonna fight? You're gonna fight. You're gonna fight, or you're gonna flight, right? Run away.
Right.
Well, you have a choice in that moment, and you can program yourself. And again, it takes time. This isn't like an overnight thing. This is something you have to curate and practice for years, right? Some of us have gone 20 plus, 30 plus, 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus years programmed into bad thinking, bad habits, just being negative in general. Like there's so many things, fix your language. What are you up to? No, not much. Are you surprised that not much in your life is happening? Every time somebody asks you, you tell them not much is happening. How are you surprised? When Garrison says, what's good? I tell him everything. And it's not always true physically in the moment, but everything will be okay.
It's a true story. He
Ultimately.
does. He does
Yeah.
say that.
Every time. How you doing, bro? Blessed and highly favored. I can't tell you how many times I spoke that I was blessed and highly favored. And if you looked at my current physical circumstance, you would have said, huh? That's a blessing? It's the silver linings, right? We talked about it the other day, Garrison, the good and the bad, the yin and the yang. You'll never find all good and you'll never find all bad.
Yeah.
You'll find good in the bad and you'll find bad in the good. There's always some in the other, and there's always some of the other in the other.
And I notice like negative people, and it kind of like makes me mad sometimes. Like I have to like almost get away from them and like not really
They're
be
good at being negative.
they'll only focus on the negatives. Like I just got a brand new car, but it's got too many miles. It's an old car. It's I need to get the wheels replaced. Instead of focusing on I got it at a good deal, even though I have to do a little bit of maintenance, it's what I needed. It's gonna last me a while. Or maybe it's like, I don't know, like hey, the restaurant you went to was closed, so you were sad about it. But maybe you go to the restaurant right across the street and meet one of your friends that you haven't seen in a couple
And the
years, or
other
maybe you,
building burnt down, and you would have
right,
died in
yeah.
it.
Yeah, like you turn around and then that building is burning down. Like there's a reason for everything to happen, and look for the positive and the negative. If there's you can always find something positive. And that's one thing I always challenge myself to do is, you know, I have a house over my head. I have food when I want it. I can sustain myself. Some people don't have all, all four limbs. Some people don't, some people can't hear, some people can't see. And those people are usually positive people too, I feel like. I don't think I've ever I haven't met a lot of blind people in my life, or people, I've met a few amputated people. People have amputations and they're usually funny, they're usually positive. They don't, they
They're the
know
most
that's something that
positive almost every time, bro.
legit. Yeah. I remember I was on a cruise ship and this guy, he was the life of the party, but he was amputated and he didn't let that like, some people might be scared, like, oh, he's in a automatic chair, or like, I don't know, whatever you call those, automatic wheelchair or whatever, so he can move himself around. But as a person like that, he could be crabby and like, oh, these people aren't gonna let hang out with me or talk to me. No, he came up and he talked to us. He made himself known and he was funny. He was a good guy, and we were around him the whole cruise. But anyway, there's a positive in everything.
Facts, bro. There's always great in the bad. And Tyler, how do you know this? Well, because not that I'm bad, but you have to look at it like this, right? Who's helping imperfect people? Is it the person who's never messed up and learned from any mistakes? They just had everything handed to them. Or is it the person who's been in the situation before, figured out how to overcome it, and can teach you? It's imperfect people who help imperfect people because that's what qualifies them, that they were imperfect and they went through all these circumstances and adversities and the speed bumps, the character building moments of life. And
Yeah,
Garrison, before we pass this up, patience, discipline, emotional intelligence, the last one, the four major rules of trading is don't be a chicken. Go all in. What's the worst that could happen?
that
Try
brings,
again.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
learning lesson. You're never taking a loss.
If you
Try
give up
again.
on the first failure, you're never going to get anywhere. Like
Facts.
if you take one trade, odds are you won't hit your first trade. Odds are you might not hit your first 5 or 10 trades, which is why you practice with demo money, and there's ways to do it without, using your own money, but you'll learn. Can learn from those losses. And one thing that, you know, Patrick Bet David talked about in the 20 rules of money, like quit worrying about the current state of the world. And when we're in a recession and at bad times, that's when people are made millionaires. The people who take advantage of a Great Depression, who instead of saying, "Oh, screw the stock market, screw crypto, it's all a scam. Bitcoin's at 30,000, Bitcoin's at 15,000, that's never going back up." But if there's a nuclear war and that's what you're worried about, your cash isn't going to matter anyway. That's one thing like that's going on right now. People are worried about the economic state of everything. Like there's wars going on, and if there's truly a bad war, your cash isn't going to matter anyway. So don't be a chicken. Commit to what you want to do, and don't feel like you have to hold, 100,000 in cash in your house because there might be a war coming soon. That 100,000
Most
isn't gonna, you know.
most of us know what to do. Sorry to cut you off, bro. Most of us
No, you're
even know
good.
what to
I
do.
was done.
Most of
Most
us
of
know what
what?
to do. Not bad. But most people know what to do. They know that the work, they know that the rewards are in the work they're avoiding. How do you get a six pack? You go to the gym and you work on your abs. You do ab
Yeah.
workouts. You eat well. You eat
Oh, it's
healthy. You
not
eat
from
good
eating ice
foods.
cream.
It- Dude, I've been trying.
Ice
It's
cream
not
doesn't
working,
work.
brother. I'm gonna have to
Okay.
try different. We're gonna have to try some different habits.
I'll try
But
cookies.
yeah, right. But most of us know what we need to do. All the progress you're looking for is in the work you are avoiding. How do you
Yeah.
get fit and healthy? You go work out. You eat good food. You study good health. You learn about it. And Garrison, you brought up so many things. Bro, I was literally over here writing stuff down so I didn't forget. But um, right, and then Garrison, you were talking about negative mindsets, dude. Think about it. How many times? How often do you get a headache? You're like, oh, my head hurts, bro. Like you're out there, dude. Just you know, you want everybody to feel sympathy for this headache. Can't you just go without mentioning that you have a headache? Nobody cares.
Usually you don't have
Like,
a headache till you think about it.
I, I, honestly, bro, there's so many like non-medical ways to get rid of a headache. Drink some water. You're a more complex houseplant, really, is what you are. Drink some more water, good water. Don't drink tap water or pool water.
Or
But no,
salt
bro, like
water.
people complain about everything, bro. They complain about everything. Challenge yourself because the reason, right? We've talked about all these things. Oh, this, that, the other. People complain. People do this. There's two types of attitudes. It's it's not the blowing of the wind. It's the set of the sail. It's your attitude towards life that determines life's attitude towards you. How do you change your programming though? Because ultimately, that's how you change everything in life. Where do you start? And you start with the simple spots, right? The foundation. If I were to ask you to set your alarm 30 minutes earlier tomorrow to wake up 30 minutes earlier. That's all. You don't got a task. You just have to wake up 30 minutes earlier. There's not like you got to get up doing jumping jacks. It's that same voice tomorrow when that alarm wakes up 30 minutes earlier that says, oh, just go back to sleep, bro. You don't actually even have to be up. It's actually warm right now. I don't want to get up. You don't, there's not, you're not even getting up for a reason. There's not like you could go back to bed. All these excuses happen in a matter of seconds. And you either convince yourself to stay in bed or you convince yourself, I need to get up. Either way, you made a commitment. Nobody asked how you felt about getting out of bed 30 minutes early. You make a commitment and you do it. How do you change your programming? It's with the small things first. You take a one step at a time, little steps. How do you go the extra mile? You take one step first. Every single journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step. And you go the extra step every single time. And that extra step becomes the extra mile. But again, Garrison, how do we change the programming, right? Well, you create goals. You write down goals every single day. A gratitude, right? Most people have never once said on a repetitive basis, maybe even for 2 days straight, I would say 95% of people have never for 2 days straight purposely listed things they were grateful for.
Yeah.
Like honestly, bro, I
That's
would be
something your
willing to
parents
bet.
make you do when you're in trouble.
Yeah. And but you're looking for the good in things. You're
Right.
changing your thinking. You're choosing what to focus on. And in this book, The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard, it's literally one of the secrets. You deliberately choose what to think about. That is the secret. You choose what to think about. Right now, we're choosing to speak, to think about what we want to bring value to you. And in the process, we might come up with an idea because finding is reserved for the searchers. If I started to make a cake the same way the Wright brothers want to make an airplane, first it starts with a thought. The thought comes first. I have an idea. We should make an airplane. The second step is action. Or actually, second step, make a plan. How are we going to build an airplane? How do we build this airplane? What do we need to build an airplane? Mm-hmm. Well, let's start trying. What would an airplane look like? Well, right now, today we know, but this is where the more we think about it, the more steps come about. We have access to the infinite intelligence of the universe, to anything you could imagine, everything here in life, the microphone I'm speaking on, the internet that I'm using, the Wi-Fi, the camera, my headset, that's my, Quest headset, the book right here, the paper, the pen I'm holding in my hand. Everything was created by a human being. And it first started with a thought, then a plan, then some action. and some changing to the action. They had to audit their actions because maybe the first pen, right, was feather and ink. Well, it doesn't really write for that long. You got to keep dipping it. Well, then they made these types of pen. I don't know the exact process, the steps of the pen, how it evolved. But ultimately, we ended up here, right? Because the feather and ink wasn't the best. It worked, but it wasn't the best. And we got better ideas because we kept thinking about it. The same thing with the airplane. The more we think about something, the more ideas we get. The more we try, the more ideas we get. And until we stop thinking about that, if we stop thinking about building an airplane, no more thoughts about an airplane comes through. Finding is reserved for the searchers. If you go searching, eventually you will find. Doesn't mean you're going to find right away or that you'll find ever. There's no guarantee. That's the crazy part about life. There's no guarantee. But ultimately, how do you change your programming, bro? What would you tell somebody who's trying to change their life? They want to change, bro, everybody around them's negative. They want to change their programming. They want to change who they are. People tell you sometimes, bro, you're brainwashed. Well, every once in a while, your brain needs a good washing. It needs a good audit, bro. It needs a little pressure wash. Get rid of the bad habits. But what
Yeah.
would you tell somebody who wants to change their programming?
What I would do, and hopefully people are still here. I have I'm gonna drop some value, and Tyler, maybe we can put this into a PDF of some sort. But
Yeah.
um so if you're struggling and you want to change, you don't know what to do, what I would do is grab a notebook, grab a brand new notebook. On the first page, write exactly what you want your life to be, what you need to be happy, where you want to be happy. Write everything down, whether you need 30 Lamborghinis and a penthouse in New York City to be happy, or whether you need a small house on a country road and 100,000 a year to be happy. Maybe that's what you want. Write that down and break that down into however, say this plan you think will take 10 years. I recommend writing out a 10, 20, 30-year plan at least. And as you think about it, you're going to think about what you need in the next 5 years, what you need in the next year, what you need in the next 6 months. Break it all the way down to what you need to do right now to earn your goals. And then you're probably going to start because you already just built out the whole roadmap. I told you to grab a brand new notebook. So that roadmap's probably going to be changing, but that first page is your end goal. If you keep that end goal vision in mind, you're going to get there somehow.
Facts,
That's what I
bro.
would say to do.
Because finding is reserved for the searchers. If you continue to search for what's on that page, eventually you will find some of it.
Yeah.
Maybe not all of it, but you will find some of it. And in finding some of it, you will also gain more. Because guess what? When you're searching, you'll find somebody else who's searching. And that person
Yeah.
who's searching knows something and has been searching longer than you. And maybe they found something you didn't find. It happens all the time, guys. Everybody in the Web3 space and crypto and the Twitter, we went searching, bro. We found
Yeah.
them. We found the
Exactly.
Web3 community. We went searching. We wanted to teach people. It's like Noah's Ark, bro. Build the ark, the people will come.
Yeah.
Like, build the boat and burn the bridge, bro. But yeah, man, there's the foundational level of investing, the psychology of trading is all what you think. It
Yeah.
begins with the mind first. It begins with the thought, what you think. Does the fact that Joe Biden or Donald Trump make you want to jump off of this call because I said both their names or one of their names and you don't like the other one? Your emotions control you. Therefore, everybody around you can control you.
Maybe listen to why we support Biden or Trump
Yeah. Like,
and be curious. Why would they support that person?
question it,
Yeah.
question it. And be open-minded, bro. I think the biggest thing is being open-minded. If you're closed-minded, nothing that isn't your original idea
You're
will
never gonna
sound good in the
grow.
first place. No,
Yeah. And the
no.
last thing I would say is I know a 20, 30-year goal can be hard. I say write whatever it is down, give yourself 10 years. It's better, shoot for the moon, hit the stars type deal. Maybe you don't get everything you need in 10 years. but it's going to take you another 2, 3 years after that. And that's when you know, write your goals down again. Maybe it might take you 20 years, but you have that 10-year plan and it's just going to double the time. So, you know, it's hard to say exactly when you think you'll be where you want to be. And by the time you get to where you want to be, you'll probably be thinking of something else you want to be because there's levels to everything. You know,
Facts,
there's,
bro.
yeah, it's crazy sometimes how rich people are, but they're not always happy. So,
Facts, bro. And that's why you need to listen to people who have what you want, because
yeah,
that person who makes $1 million, he might not be $1 million dad or $1 million spouse or $1 million friend.
right.
There's always areas to improve and to become better.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else, bro, for this
No,
episode?
no,
I
that's
have
been
one
been a
last
great
thing.
episode.
I have one last thing. It has, like I said, this is probably one of my favorites. I could keep going all day about this.
Yeah.
This is one of the topics you have to pay me to shut up about. But I want to read a little bit more from The Subjective Control, Chapter 12 by Neville Goddard, bro. This is one of the most powerful things, because this is the secret of the universe. And if what you think about most of the time you become, right? We just need to become better thinkers.
Yeah.
Become better at thinking and choosing what you think about, and become better at taking action and implementing and self-auditing your actions. What are your habits, right? I keep saying programming because it's a paradigm. What's a paradigm? It's a mental program. Everybody has one, and not all paradigms are the same. But the reason I want to read this is because it's so important, bro, and I'll end it on here. But again, I'm starting off from the beginning. Your imagination is able to do all that you ask in the proportion to the degree of your attention. All progress, all fulfillment of desire depend upon the control and concentration of your attention. And attention may either be attracted from without or directed from within. Attention is attracted from without when you are consciously occupied with external impressions of the immediate present. If you were listening to this podcast and something distracted you, maybe your friend sent you a meme and you got distracted and stopped watching it, you were distracted by the immediate present, right? The immediate present. Your attention is attracted from without. And it says the very lines on this page, the ones I'm reading right now, it says are attracting your attention from without. Your attention is directed from within when you deliberately choose what you will be preoccupied with mentally. When you deliberately choose. And guys, that is the absolute secret of the universe. Don't forget, it's easier to talk about these things than it is to implement them. That's why we're here talking about them today. I'm not perfect. Garrison's not perfect. A matter of fact, we're probably
You.
closer to we're probably closer to the more imperfect people, which qualifies us to teach those upon these subjects. But Garrison, I appreciate you, bro. This has been an awesome episode. I could go on for hours. It's one of my favorite topics, psychology, thinking, what you think about. But I appreciate you, bro. Let's
Not a
crush it.
problem.
We'll see
Let's
you guys
go.
next time.